The button has been pressed.
Oh, the button has been pressed, and here we are, setting out on our first full Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign. Super excited. There's bound to be lots of learning to do and lots of little mistakes, and we're all just here to support each other and have a good time.
Absolutely.
I'm very pleased with this group. Hannah's been sending me bits and pieces about Primrose, and I've completely I feel a deep attachment to Primrose already, so no one's in any danger because Primrose isn't allowed to get hurt. So great. But I'll set our scene as we zoom in on Lumen Village. It is 798 post-Exodus as per the Hespian calendar, the first day of Crescent-Sin, which is the 9th month of the Archevian cycle. Athena, the great moon above, hangs as a low crescent blade in the sky. And this month is often known as a time of conflict and danger. It is a time when many nations prepare to send their harvest ships off to Verda, the very large, not settled continent where people send their ships to gather lots of food, because across Hespia, food is often scarce, and different nations sometimes clash. But these concerns are far from the sleepy community village of Lumen. It is the 5th day since Old Bellow finished his roar, and the ash fell across the land. The prior 3 days to that, so it began 8 days ago, Amarea Grindstone, Lumen's sky singer, stood unbowed by Serian's stand in the center of Lumen Village and lifted her voice to protect her people. Lumen's Exodus chalice, used to carry the mystical waters back from Farspire Lighthouse so far away, was slowly drained, and worried, awestruck attendants watched nearby, ready to step in if anything were to happen. Now, with the village safe from the ash for another cycle, people returned to normality, with the self-appointed peacebringer of the village, Mother Bear, also the watch captain, heading out to put any victims of the Ash's corruption to their final rest. We now find ourselves on the evening of the Night of Sharpening, the very first day of Crescent-Sin. I'd like to begin by having a brief description from each of you of your characters, and then I've got a couple of questions for people to get us settled in. So if you are happy to begin, I'm just going to go in alphabetical order, because that's how my journal's organised. Celia, could you give us a brief description of yourself?
Yes. Celia is a half-orc young woman who is has kind of bob kind of haircut, but it's quite unkempt and messy. She's quite a masculine young woman. She's got quite muscular arms and slightly broader shoulders, with maybe a slightly mousier face. She's got despite her muscular frame, she's got a very thin waist, and a light sort of browny, kind of greeny skin, with two kind of fairly not very pronounced tusks, but just enough to sort of stick out so you notice them from her mouth, from her teeth. She has a series of like darker freckles, like brown freckles all across her face, and she stands about 5'9". So she's fairly tall, but not massively tall for more someone of pure orcish blood, or maybe compared to her mother, who might be, I imagine, a bit taller. She She wears quite simple clothes. She wears usually cut off at the sleeves at the top, and she wears a choker necklace that her mother made for her at the forge, that she wears very tightly around her neck, and she wears two like purple kind of coloured bracelets around her wrists that sort of remind her of her father. She wears kind of dark brown leather trousers and sort of a lighter leather boots with kind of straps, like belt straps all along the trousers, like darker belt straps along them, and I think that's about it. She'd probably wear two little studded earrings as well, and she'd also have one of her nostrils pierced as well.
Amazing description. Thank you so much. How do you think other people in Lumen might see Celia? And I don't mean in terms of impressions of her, I mean literally see. What kinds of things would they see her doing around the village, or would she be off doing other stuff?
I think she, during the day, her mother is quite I imagine her mother being a very kind of large, looming figure within the village who almost noticeably puts pressure upon Celia to be working during the day. But Celia's the type who, if her mother looks away, she's sort of gone, and she's very much a wanderer. She likes to spend her time wandering through the forest and climbing trees and sort of observing wildlife. She definitely, if she's around town itself, then it's often, I imagine people see her moving through town to get out of it rather than sticking around in it. But she's not unfriendly with people or anything. She's just a bit of a head in the clouds type who sometimes is so daydreaming that she sort of forgets people around her are there, and she's the sort of type who you might approach and sort of have to repeatedly call her name to get her attention, and then she sort of snaps back into reality. And yeah, so that I think I answered the question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll move on now to Morrigan. Morrigan, what did we settle on for the surname? Fate
Weaver.
Fate Weaver. I have got it
Because
right.
it's like Rolo the Weave Walker.
Absolutely, yeah. So perhaps could you give a description of Morrigan, please?
Why did I have to be after Natalie's amazingly detailed description?
I know.
So Morrigan is quite tall. She's an elf, but she is an ephemeral elf by blood. Is that right, Tom?
Eternal elf by blood.
Eternal elf by blood. Sorry, I can never remember which way around it is. So she is inordinately beautiful, and she has a sort of luster about her that people everywhere are sort of entranced by. But the music stopped, Tom. Did that do it on purpose? No, it's back.
Oh, it's not working for me, but it's fine.
Like,
I'll just keep it
oh
going.
my god, it's on purpose.
No, you're good.
She has very long, like ice blonde hair, like almost white, that's all braided back with like little metal rings and leather pieces to hold it together, etc. She essentially looks like a Viking. That's kind of where I've taken my my brain's taken this. And so she's in like black leather armor most of the time, and she's extremely pale, but has a lot of black kind of eye makeup around on her face which makes her look quite fierce. And she also has two painted eyes, one on each cheek. But according to the local kids, if they can stay long enough in her presence, which they're quite scared of her, then you'll see the eyes blink. And that is that.
Sorry to leave you hanging. I'd muted myself.
Yeah,
I love
thanks,
that.
Tom. That was a lot. Thanks.
I love the blinking eyes thing so much. And for Morrigan, how do you think Morrigan would have reacted to seeing Amareya Grindstone's performance as the Sky Singer? Well, I call it a performance. It's not done to play up to the crowd, but essentially the Sky Singers use their voice and this magical water from Fastspire Lighthouse to control the air and deflect all the ash falling down to keep the village safe. It does happen every year, so it's not like a once-off thing, but it's quite powerful. Do you think Morrigan would have reacted in any particular way?
Honestly, I think she might feel a bit threatened. She's known as like Rolo's apprentice, and therefore kind of this, and she knows what's going to happen, and she can kind of deflect it in a way. So I think she'd maybe feel a little bit annoyed that this person has the power, but she'd also be like, whoa, I want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Amareya is definitely a big power within the village as one of the light bearers, which you'd all be fully aware of. But thank you very much. Moving on alphabetically, we find ourselves with Primrose. Anna, would you mind giving us a description of Primrose?
Yeah, so Primrose is, when I can get the description up. She is a Harangon / rabbit folk. She's mostly got white fur, but with dusky brown and grey patches throughout the fur as well. She usually wears loose-fitting cotton clothes, probably like a little midi dress type thing. Probably got a floral pattern on it. I'd say she's got a little green bow wrapped around one ear, and is often seen wearing a dandelion-linked bracelet. That is her druidic focus for future reference. Assuming they still have focuses in Pathfinder. You'll often see her around town. She usually carries a big twine basket, or at least it's big compared to her 3'5" frame. Usually wearing a smile on her face, wandering around the town. She usually is covered in plants. She usually has this little apron on, usually covered in grass stains and leaves and soil, and just as a representation of what she's been doing all day. Probably got lots of leaves in her pockets. She carries around 3 little pouches. One's got berries in it. She'll give them to anyone. And she's got a little pouch full of soil, and she's got a pouch full of what was it? The other thing? Seeds. Yes. So you'll often see her around town. If she's not selling stuff, she's planting flowers, talking to people. Usually got some ointment on her. She'll hand out that if she feels the need, like little spreads of it. But yeah.
Amazing. I love Primrose so much. Do you think Primrose would have had any particular reaction to or be interested in watching Amareya? It does happen every year, so Primrose would have seen multiple instances of this. But just curious.
Yeah, I think she'd definitely watch. It's something important that happens every year. She'd admire.
Excellent. That takes us on to...
Oh, wait. Also,
sorry.
can't forget that you got Dandy on her head the whole time as well. Soaking up the sun.
I meant to ask, do you see everyone being aware of Dandy? Does Dandy like unfurl and look at people, or is Dandy a secret, a badly kept secret, or just very open? And...
Probably quite open. Just depends on how Dandy's feeling. Whether he's a bit lively today. It depends on how much sun there is, I guess.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. How much energy?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Dandy.
Energy he's got, and yeah, with like people she's more close to as well, talking around the town, she'd probably do like little pranks, leaves little bits of soil on their shoes or something.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, Skrikel. Kieran, if you could
Rick is
describe
a
Skrik.
scabby rat man who, doesn't really keep himself, in a good state. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's about it.
Pretty short, I should think, as a
Yeah.
rat folk.
Yeah. Well,
Smelly,
I guess so. A little bit.
covered in stains.
The question we're trying to ask is how often does he wash?
Well, he goes in the river sometimes, but he doesn't make a thing of it.
Very cool.
He'll wash when he washes when he's in the river. Not he wouldn't wash otherwise, like on purpose.
And I think
Rats
I
are
know the
very
answer.
clean animals, you know.
Oh. Does he what?
Just saying that rats are very clean animals, don't you know?
He's not though.
Yeah, I can imagine the rat, because Skrik, Kieran's character, is part of an established family here in Lumen, as is Celia as well, and now Primrose. But Skrik's father and many members of the family are quite fastidious and sort of customer-facing, if you like. They like to keep themselves clean and presentable, so Skrik is very much standing out amongst the rest of them. And I think I know the answer to this, Kieran, but what kind of things would people what kind of things would people of the village see Skrik doing around a normal day?
Mostly scavenging for shit that's been lying around, really. He'd like throw everything in the pile. He'd be like asking people if they know where any sort of scrap and things are that could be of particular interest. Just being a bit weird, really.
And how is he with boundaries? The example I'm thinking of is, let's say someone at the Cracked Lens Inn is putting out a load of old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Does Skrik leap from the shadows straight onto the stuff? Does he ask permission? Does he wait until the person's left? What's his normal MO?
He'd know the policy of each person, seeing as he's stolen stuff, and he'd act accordingly to how they've reacted in the past.
Very nice. I like that.
So sometimes he'd just take it because he knows it's junk, and other times he'd ask, depending on who it is. And if there's anything particularly he wants, he might just end up stealing it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Amazing descriptions. Anya, I know you're stranded. Do you want to say anything about Revna? So she's Black Wolf? Is this I can't remember what you said to me before, Misty? Okay. Okay. So, following Morrigan around quite closely, by the sound of things, is her wolf, Revna. It's this big black furred wolf. But not aggressive. Doesn't interact with other people at all unless they initiate interaction. Or Morrigan tells it to. There we go. Amazing. Thank you so much. Right. Well, let's get into things. So, it is the Night of Sharpening. As residents of the village, you are all aware of the tradition here in Lumen. Many places across Hespia, people kind of lock themselves away. Families or little communes will bar their doors and take an inventory of what strengths and defenses they have, sharpening things. Some of that prevails here, but in a more community-minded way. Celia, your mother, Tilia Brunt, actually goes around the village and offers free sharpening. She takes a whetstone with her and offers to sharpen up any tools or weapons if people want, free of charge, as a kind of nod to the traditional Hespian aspect of the Night of Sharpening. But being such a friendly community, people have their own take on things and tend to convene at the Cracked Lens Inn. It's quite packed in there tonight, as it is each cycle. And you know that people will be taking the night of sharpening as an excuse to have contests of strength or dexterity, bit rowdy, but otherwise that same happy family community vibe. Does anybody think they would be involved with those contests or want to be part of that busy, lively kind of party atmosphere, or do they think they would be elsewhere?
I think it really depends for Celia if her mother wants her sort of directly involved with the helping out with the, like you said, with the whetstones and sharpening, or if she's alternatively too distracted by what she's doing.
Well, for Celia specifically, actually, I do have a question. Tilia, your mother, definitely would have asked if you could help. She sees it. She's quite proud of this tradition. But your paramour, Gwilyn, has asked you to meet her away from the noise and the hubbub, out by Lumen Yard, to kind of sneak away and have some private time.
Oh, she would like be working for her mum, but as soon as she gets the opportunity, she's sneaking off.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, sounds like a fun opportunity for a little stealth roll there, please, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I'm sorry if I'm a bit slow. I've got incredibly bad cramp and it's not going away. So I've got to sit in a really awkward position to stop it. So
That's nasty.
Just rolling real cozy. So stealth check.
Yeah, stealth check would be great.
First roll of the new campaign, and it's not a good one.
Fantastic. So you keep sort of edging towards escape routes, little alleyways in amongst the houses of old Lumen as your mother's going from door to door, knocking and offering help to people with sharpening their goods. But your mother's keeping a keen eye, and anytime she snaps her head around, you kind of snap back to attention and big smile on your face. Eventually, you do manage to get away, but it's later on in the evening. But we'll come to you heading out to meet Gwilyn in just a moment. Anybody else? Do you think you'd want to be part of the festivities or be doing your own thing?
Oh, no, sorry, go for it.
Carry on. There you go. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think Morrigan would be there in the pub. She's not or in the tavern. She's not disapproving or anything. She wouldn't take an active part, but she's talking to people, etc. She's not the life and soul of the party, but she would be there. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. And you do see how busy it is. Very good. Primrose?
Primrose would pop her head in, but probably not take part in any of the strength tests and what have you.
Mm-hmm. And Script?
But socialise, definitely.
So what is it? Knife sharpening?
No, this is Lumen's own take on what is traditionally in Hespia a night where people kind of lock themselves away and sharpen their weapons in anticipation of a difficult month. But in Lumen, with such a community spirit, people gather in the Cracked Lens Inn for contests of strength and dexterity, and just an excuse to get together and have a bit of a raucous piss up, really.
Is his family there?
Many members of his family would be, yes.
Then he wouldn't be there.
Okay, amazing. Where would he be instead? Just wandering around?
Yeah, wandering around trying to find shit on the street.
Very nice. Yeah, especially with everyone else occupied, it's probably a good moment to go scrounging. Fantastic. Well, we'll quickly jump over the Cracked Lens Inn. So if Morrigan and Primrose wanted to drag their tokens out.
Do you have a camera token for the recording?
Oh, such a good point. I do not. If you just want to drag out Celia for the moment until I make that.
I'll
Make
hide her off in
character.
the corner.
Camera. In players' journals. Everyone. Controlled by everyone. Anywhere is fine, Morrigan.
Calm, the fucking song name.
Yeah, I like a pun, I do.
It's a very good pun. You should be proud of yourself.
Let's grab token quick. Ooh, I know exactly the token to use actually, because it works nicely for this. Give it vision and night vision. Represents camera. Save the first save. There's always something to fix. Camera. Lighting. Save. Use that token. Okay, let's see if this works. Camera? If you get rid of Celia, can you still see?
Yeah, struggling to get rid of her in the corner. There we go. I still can see, so thank you.
Hey, there we go. There's the little camera, little spy lens token there. So, Morrigan and Primrose inside. You see.
Sorry.
That's all right. You see all manner of folk from across the village. In fact, Tilia wouldn't be there. Talking to each other, you see the entirety of the light bearers. Amarea Grindstone talking off in the quiet corner with Yormag the Bastion. Her son, Arnlin Grindstone, is sat with Mother Bear and the Specular Sophists. Bryna, seemingly gambling with dice. You see the Havenborn sisters, owners of Girls Haven, and Magical Sisters, chatting with Jagged Filtria. You see all different people from the village here. Is there anything in particular? Morrigan, you said you'd just be kind of soaking it in. Primrose, socializing, is there anyone in particular you'd want to talk to or perhaps prank?
No pranking unless she's super close to them. Is there anyone she's particularly close to in here?
I would imagine Mother Bear would probably be quite fond of her. Tudan, the guy behind the bar and cousin of one of the light bearers, Rip Hellseafoam, is a very approachable gnomish man who's always got a kind word for everyone.
Probably just dipping around to each one then.
Yeah.
Well, she probably wouldn't be there for super long. Just a quick
take it all in. You see the oak leaves, though not with Gwilyn Oakleaf, sitting with the person who's largely seen as the leader, though technically it is a council of 4 that leads Lumen, but Elder Councillor Harley 10, the Loxodon, is sat talking in his slow, steady voice with the oak leaves with his adopted son, Sir 10, who's the proprietor of the general goods store here.
God, he's so attractive.
10?
Yes.
He's Yuan T.
Yuan T's nuts. I don't know why I went with that.
But Primrose, you take a look around. Sorry, love? Yeah, I'll make sure you get to see the token. Anya wants to see the token. She's sorting out stuff in the kitchen now. But Primrose, you take a look around, you share a few words with people. You see Arnlin gambling, and some things you pick up in general. You notice, and Morrigan, you'd notice this as well, that with everyone here, there's a bit of a theme to some of the chatting that's going around the room. Quite a few people sound quite annoyed, that bits and pieces seem to have gone missing from their home, or things that they value have been breaking. Old heirlooms have been found broken on the ground, or valuables have just disappeared altogether. Useful things as well, like people's cutlery or tools, have just been disappearing. Nothing crazy, nothing that feels like a burglary, but just little bits and pieces. And you notice that as a theme that comes up in conversation.
Her own stuff.
Sorry?
Would any of her own stuff gone missing?
I think for Morrigan, no. I think for Primrose, yes. Maybe not necessarily her own stuff, but I think she would. And now hearing other people say this, maybe start to feel a little bit suspicious, because she probably would have noticed over the last couple of months, little things going missing from within the meadows, your family's warren.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she'll just sort of join in that conversation, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I noticed this thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people would absolutely empathize and just be like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was just being forgetful, but if you're missing something, and you're missing something, Primrose, maybe...
Wonder what it could be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And you know, the general feeling of the evening is one of revelry and drinking and catching up, so people soon forget their worries. They don't want to spend the night worrying about things, and things move along. But we'll leave Primrose and Morrigan for now and head back to Celia. So Celia, you've managed to slip away from your mother's watchful eye, make your way between the buildings, and head towards the yard, which you know to be out to the north of the village proper. Arbuck currently is not there. Tilia would be in amongst the village. Perky Prill, everybody knows, keeps to a strict daily routine of sleeping when the sun goes down and waking when the sun comes up. So it would not be around right now because it is cresting into nighttime proper. But you make your way outside, heading towards the yard, perhaps some excitement bubbling up in your stomach, in your chest as you think of meeting Gwilyn and why she might have called you away. But as you reach the yard itself and see the large storage building in front of you where Perky Prill keeps during the day, you hear a scream. And you know this to be the scream of Gwilyn herself.
Oh, she rushes into action without a second thought.
Being outside and maneuvering around the village, oh my god, I've forgotten your name. Squick! You would hear this scream as well. How would Squick react if Kieran is there? If he's not making tea. I think he might be making tea.
Damn it, Scrick. Too busy putting spoons in his ears.
Yeah, well, he'll be back shortly, I should hope. And Morrigan, inside the cracked lens inn, unable to hear this scream because of the hubbub of the night of celebration, you have what you know to be one of your moments of insight, a flash of vision, as you see a dark-haired young woman stumbling back inside a dark, small building that you do recognize as the storage building out in Lumen Yard. And you have this horrible feeling in your chest that this is happening right now. How would Morrigan react?
She would also. She would. Would Revna have anything to do? Would he see any of the stuff?
You know that, yeah. When you have your visions, they are shared with Revna.
She'd look down to Revna and see if he was reacting as well and noticing something. And
yeah.
Do you see anything, boy? Is there anything going on? I don't know why I've gone Northern Irish. It's the only one I can
love
do
it.
currently.
Sounds really good, honestly.
You know Revna to communicate with you through emotion for the most part. And as Revna's eyes look up at you, there is a feeling of excitement, but danger, and a shared knowledge of what's just happened.
Come on then, we better go check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you head outside towards the yard. Primrose, you notice Morrigan hurrying off.
Which,
Do you think Primrose
Hurrying.
would stay there?
depends on how urgent she looked.
How urgent does Morrigan look? Very, Anya says.
Then yeah, should be curious. See if she can help.
She's not frantic, but she's taking it at quite a quick pace.
Moving with a purpose. Okay. Right. With that in mind, Kieran back.
Yeah. My
Wait.
shoes, some guy dropped my shoes off because, yeah, they went there.
I have so many questions, but not for now. Skrick heard a scream coming from outside the village to the north. Skrick knows this as one of the favourite places of his to be the storage area in Lumen Yard. How would he respond to hearing that scream?
He'd probably go and check it out.
Okay, good stuff. So, I will move us over to a map right now. Hup. Some more fitting music on. And can I have... Let's get the camera out for everybody. Whoosh. But could I have Celia drop yourself? I'm pinging right now. It's kind of bottom central. So, as you've rushed out of Lumen proper, you can see the storage building in front of you, and you heard that scream that you recognise very well. There's no need for initiative just yet.
Oh.
Oh.
No. Don't know why she's got 25 HP on this token, but...
Oh, weird.
Oh, it's the wrong way around, I think, that's why.
Okay.
Oh, weird, it changes it when you drag them out, that's so weird. Whatever, it's right now.
No worries. So, you said Celia would just be rushing straight in?
Oh, absolutely. If she heard Brain Gwillem's voice screaming, then yeah, she's rushing too.
Amazing. So you just go sprinting up towards the doors of the storage area.
Yes.
Here. You can see that they look to be locked, but you can hear the frantic sound of Gwillen on the other side as she calls out, "Help! Somebody help!"
Yeah, she's rushing forward and she's gonna try and like pull open the door.
Go ahead and make an athletics check for me, please.
Athletics.
You heave on the door and the chain rattles between the handles. Gwillen on the other side reacts. "Somebody! Whoever's there! Help!"
She would shout out and say, "I'm here, love. Don't wait. I'm here."
Okay. Right. With that, we will jump into initiative. As from the nearby lumber yard building, the kind of timber mill, and from inside the building where Gwillen currently is, you hear a rasping sound, almost halfway between a crackling fire and sand grinding over stone, as a being lurches into view to your left.
Am I supposed to be able to see into the building, by the way?
No. Can you?
Yes, I can, yeah.
I think it's the camera thing where you have like two sources of
yeah.
looking. So let's fix that. get rid of the camera, and we'll just put, though you're not quite here yet.
I still can see in the building when you deleted the camera, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe if I delete Stadium. Try again. No, still. Yeah, I can see in.
How about now?
Yeah, I still can.
That's so weird. When I control L, you can't see in at all.
I'll,
Not the end of the world.
I'll print screen and you can see what I see on my. I'll try refreshing and maybe it will
Thank you.
fix it. 'Cause I don't want to see stuff I'm not supposed to.
Let's get Primrose.
No, still doing it.
Super weird. Dandy. Little Dandy. And Scrick. Right. I think, for the sake of ease, we'll have everybody roll initiative. But, obviously the people who aren't quite there yet will appear on later rounds.
I assume it's night time because I've got no vision.
It is nighttime, but I did put some light on. It's just very dark. Let me up it a little bit so it's not quite so obscuring. The level 0 one, but I've already dragged you out.
Might be something to do with the lighting levels that fucks with that, maybe.
Maybe. There, you should be able to see a bit more now, Primrose.
Weird. I wonder why it is.
Oh, damn. Nice initiatives.
Yeah, just a little bit brighter, that's all.
Holy shit, we're rolling well on initiative.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just get straight 20. Creatures. Right then. Initiative. Straight roll. Give you patience. So, 8, 11. Descending. Okay. We have a turn order. Right. So, at the top, Celia, you've already done your shaking of the doors. The chains have rattled, but you've been unable to make any headway. Gwilyn would have shouted out, "There's something horrible in here with me!" What would you like to do? And you've seen this thing to your left. It's a body caked in dark black ash that seems to slough off of itself as it's walking along. Embers crackle dull beneath its kind of papery skin, and it just fixes these dull red eyes on you, humanoid in appearance, as it begins to shamble towards you.
I would like. I want to try to reopen the door. Again, as my first priority. So with
Yeah,
that,
go.
Another athletics.
That'd be another athletics. Yep.
What the fuck? Why is it? Something's fucky because I've got the level 0 thing.
That's annoying.
close that. This is the right one. Here we go. Can I hero point that? Right.
You absolutely can. Everyone should have 1 hero point. Oh!
It's more like it.
With a surge of adrenaline, your muscles bulge, and you just keep pulling when it doesn't seem to give, and you see the chain in front of you just creak and snap in two as the doors come open, and I will remove them for you. Very nicely done. That was a tough DC. 1 door, 2 door. As you see your beloved currently backed up against the door in front of you, but her gaze is transfixed down to the other end of the building, where you see 2 of these creatures looking back at Gwilyn, and all manner of odds and ends fill this somewhat organized storeroom. But down at the far end, you just see these creatures looming over the boxes, and they seem to be starting to make their way. You still have 2 actions.
Can I use my second action to do the request action of Gwilyn? And just say, she just say, "Sweet Leaf, we need to get out of here."
That's a great name. Amazing. Does the request action do anything in...
It's also a name for weed.
Hey!
The request action says, make a request of a friendly or helpful creature. Diplomacy.
Sets the DC. Yeah, you can roll diplomacy. This will not be a difficult DC.
I have no modifier though.
You still make it. I set that as the very easy, simple DC. She just nods frantically at you. You can see the fear in her eyes. And on her turn, she will absolutely acquiesce to that request.
And then finally, can I do a recall knowledge check on what these creatures are?
100%. With the nature of these creatures, you can use any intelligence that you would like to roll. An intelligence-based skill.
Well, I don't think I'm good at any of them.
Well then,
Is
pick one for the fun.
Nature, I think, is the best I've got. I think nature or religion.
Yep,
exactly
both would fit.
Not guild law, no.
Probably not, no. No, or Celia, not rolling so well.
No, very inconsistent rolling so far.
Yeah, your brain is just flicking all over the place right now, and you don't glean anything in the moment. Skrick hasn't quite arrived yet, nor has Primrose. Okay. Let's have a look at your stats. It's annoying they didn't keep the proper names I gave them. It is not a plague zombie.
Oh, you have to change their name on the token and shit. It's a bit of a pain.
Has it kept the name I gave it? No, it hasn't. It's fine. That'll come up if we do some more recall knowledge stuff. So it has a speed of 25 feet. Does only have 2 actions though. So it gets to there. And it will use its second action to stride again. Gets up to Gwilyn, but that's all it can do. Morrigan's not arrived yet. Gwilyn herself. Just check. Yeah, didn't think so. Gwilyn herself is going to absolutely do what Celia said. She's going to stride straight back away. 25 feet. And as she passes you, there's a look of relief and love in her eyes, and she just says, "You're coming too, right?"
I'll be there. Keep moving.
Okay. Yeah, she'll keep running. 25. And third action stride as well. She's no fool. She gets to there. We got the two. These guys. 2 strides. Oh, yeah, it's doing the proper Pathfinder thing. So 5 to get there, and a second stride. It's not smart enough to try any flanking stuff, but it will get up to you. So these things just close in on you. This dead look in their eyes, but a dull red glow as they seem to want to get towards you, Celia. It is your turn.
I'd like to try and shut this door with one of my actions, the interact action.
Very cool. So as you pulled them open, yeah, you're actually not in a bad position to do so. The interact action doesn't have any requirements, I don't think.
It just says manipulate.
So manipulate would, if the creatures around you had attack of opportunity, they would be able to take that without you moving at all.
Yeah.
But they don't. Skill check. You don't have to attempt a skill check to close the door. You close the doors.
Would Celia have her weapon on her?
That's
Longsword?
entirely up to you. It's not unreasonable considering you are walking around with your mum sharpening and stuff. Might be for a demonstration or what have you. But I leave it up to you.
I think she would.
Mm-hmm.
I think justify, because I don't want to do it just to be cheaty or whatever. But I think justify, I think that's a good reason that she probably would want to show her own craftsmanship off.
Yeah.
I'd even go as far to say that perhaps she wouldn't even have her own sword on her. It might be like a display model.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
So I don't think she'd have her shield on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do think she might have a display model on her that she was just sort of carrying in a sheath over her shoulder sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can she use another action to interact and shove the sword in between the handle of the door?
I love that.
Because it's
Absolutely.
you said I pulled it out, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if I shut it and do that, then they're not going to be able to get out through as easily.
100%. You put the sword through and you immediately start to see it rocking back and forth as the creatures behind try and break their way through, but this will make it a lot more difficult for them.
Final action, just stride this way.
Fantastic. I'm going to
Actually,
close those doors.
Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. Celia's not stupid and knows these things. Could attack, would be able to catch her and attack her based on what she's done. So it might be smarter, and I think she is pretty smart. What does grappling do?
It does more than it does in the old D&D, I know that much. Grapple. You attempt to grapple, grab a creature or object with your free hand. Athletics check, Fortitude DC. On a crit success, your target is restrained until the end of your next turn, unless you move or your target escapes. On a success, they're just grabbed.
What does restrained do?
Restrained. You have the flat-footed and immobilized conditions. They wouldn't be able to move anywhere, and they'd have -2 to their AC. And you can't use any actions with the attack or manipulate traits, except to attempt to escape.
Oh, that's what I want to do then. I don't want them to be able to attack me.
Amazing.
So I want to try and grab it and just like wrestle with it so it can't get an attack on me.
Fucking love it. I've got the Fortitude DC up in front of me. Roll your athletics.
21.
Ooh, 21 is good.
It's not a crit though, I don't doubt.
No, not quite a crit. But that is a success. So the creature is grabbed. You're held in place by another creature, flat-footed and immobilized.
I think that's smarter than running away, because it's just going to run up and hit me anyway, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
At least if other people arrive, they might be able to hit it easier.
Does the strike action have the manipulate trait? No, it doesn't. Okay. Cool. Grabbed. Love it. Love the combat already. Grabbed. Fantastic. Skrick, you do now arrive on the scene. You see a very distressed looking young lady who you would know, Gwilyn Oakleaf, one of the fancy people in the manor's daughters, running towards you, tears in her eyes, and kind of glancing back towards Celia Brunt, the blacksmith's daughter, who's currently kind of wrestling with this horrible looking ash-coated humanoid that's lurching in her grasp and trying to attack her. What would Skrick do?
This is a junk.
Yes. Where was he starting off?
Yeah, just at the... Yeah, there's fine. The edge of the palisade.
We'll use one movement to run.
Very good.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, people can consider whether they had equipment or not on them. I'm perfectly happy with whatever people want to go for. I'll also say we're very used to in D&D, as it would be for Pathfinder 2, of thinking of our combat map as like the bounds and we have to deal with what's in front of us. But you are young people, not particularly trained and such yet. You could go and get some help if you wanted to.
Does this thing look big?
It looks about the size of an adult human. It doesn't look overtly muscled or anything, but it's difficult to tell. It's these black flakes of ash just keep falling off its skin onto the ground.
I think you run again to get a closer look. So it's just been grabbed at the moment.
Yeah, Celia's got a strong arm kind of on one of the creature's arms, pinned to its side. She's wrestling for a better hold.
I think he's only got his dagger and his armor on him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna run up to there. So he's moved 3 times, and he's just gonna sort of prepare himself to
Very
try
cool.
and intervene if anything else happens.
Excellent. The larger one is going to move up to the door inside, and everyone here just hears this loud banging as this creature hurls itself against the door, and you see your sword just rattling between the handles of the doors, Celia. See how it does. Ooh, it has a pretty good athletics. Got DC in mind. Oop, nope, that's not going to do it. Slams against the door, so it used 1 action to move and 1 action to try and force open the door, and it only has 2 actions. Morrigan. So you turn up with Revna close at your heels, and you can see everything you can see here.
How far off the map is she?
Morrigan, you can be where you are now.
Okay. And this is the bad guy. That's the one we got.
It looks pretty nasty. Other people can attempt recall knowledge if they want to learn anything about it, but it does cost an action.
What's my name? 30 feet. Cool.
Yeah, you're an elf.
I'm an elf. Elf baby. So she's gonna move, and then I'm going to. Are my spells the one that you and I chose yesterday that we were talking about? Yeah.
You've got the 2 cantrips, yeah, and that's it right now.
So I'm going to use a telekinetic projectile and whop a stone at this guy.
Fantastic. See a suitable stone in the ground, focus your mind on it, lifts up in the air and hurls towards the
One
creature.
of the eyes on her cheek would blink as that
Oh,
happens.
awesome. A 22 is a critical hit. Roll critical damage. Oh, 14 damage. The stone slams straight into the head, and you see its spine, or what's left of it, click back. It's not quite dead, but that was a hefty blow. Very nice.
Hopefully this will be start as we mean to go on, but we all know I do not have that best luck.
We'll see. Where's my guy gone? There he is. Just check for any things, immunities or resistances. Nope. Amazing. Yeah, 14 damage straight through. Oof.
Just realised I've deleted myself off the turn order.
Oh no! Do you remember what you rolled? We can have a scroll up.
Any something?
22! Oh god, I'm sorry, you should have gone
That's fine.
ages ago.
Okay.
After Scrick, if you want to take your turn now, I'll put you back on the turn order. In the right place.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense her going after Morrigan because she kind of followed
Yeah.
Morrigan here anyway.
Very true.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
that worked out nicely.
Let's just pretend I delete. Yeah, she's just gonna like peek out from behind her, I guess, with an axe. I don't know if I can even do anything.
Morrigan, you see the furry little head of Primrose peek out from behind you. Dandy's a funny one, actually, because you wear him.
Yeah, he's on my
So
head.
Dandy would stay with you, whereas Revna, if you want Revna to do anything, you need to spend an action on your go to give Revna 2 actions. That's how familiars work. So she. Neither.
I have referred to them as both.
Excellent.
And
Don't
Wolf.
really.
Yeah.
Whoever thought that the NB character, non-binary character, in one of our campaigns would be an animal?
We've got a few really lovely non-binary A-level students, and they're making me realize I like referring to everyone as they. It just feels better. But anyway,
To be fair, Dandy's a plant. He or she
Yeah.
didn't really have a.
they, yeah.
I always lead with they unless I know otherwise now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to be doing. But yeah, so unlike in D&D where things sort of get a free move, but they can't do special actions, if you want Revna to move, he needs an action on your turn.
Tom,
Yes.
I can see the health of the zombies. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I'm supposed to be, but I can also see that they're linked together, the different
Oh,
tokens.
yeah. How annoying. Let's see if I can do this.
The way you fix that is you would have to, if they've got a HP value,
Yeah.
you'll have to make a separate custom one for your for them and resave the token that's not like linked to the character sheet.
Like make a new character sheet.
No, so
Or make a copy of the character sheet.
no, you won't even need to do that, I don't think.
You just need to delete the HP in the token box and just put the numbers.
That's smart. So
yeah.
not have it set to hit points, just not have it set
Yes,
to anything.
exactly. Yeah, Kieran's got it.
That's super smart, thank you.
Yeah,
There you go, works.
You only want it for named NPCs. You want the HP linked.
Can you see the number?
I can just see the green
Oh.
bar.
I'm fine with that. That's essentially what we were doing with those auras anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a good representation as well, because unless there's a skill involved with it, I suppose.
Yeah. Thank you. Good shout.
That's all right.
Primrose, that was one action to move.
Yeah, I'm not in range for anything else. That's it.
Staying there, staying safe.
Yep. Stand
Would you like to
behind
recall knowledge?
Yeah, good too.
Yep. You want to roll a nature check for me?
I'll remind everyone that Tom has very kindly put all the actions you can do in the resources bit on the journal, which so you can look at all the different actions you can do, and it's also, he's got a very good one where it's tied it to the different
Skills.
abilities, skills. Yeah, I'll actually just copy and paste them into Discord so you can quickly all see them.
Yeah.
That's the skill actions, and that's the basic actions afterwards.
Thank you, Natalie. 23. Very nice. You've heard probably horror stories told within the Warren Primrose, within the Meadows, of these ashbound people who have unfortunately not been able to get to a settlement with a Sky Singer's protection or find a cave or somewhere underground to shelter, being caught out in the ash and being corrupted by it. They seem to wander aimlessly, aggressive towards any creatures they come across, and you know that after the ash falls, settlements will often send out peace bringers, people that have volunteered to go out and put a final rest to the poor people that have been caught and become ashbound. The only person who does peace bringer duty in Lumen, because Lumen doesn't have that many people around it, so you don't often get many ashbound. This already would be a big anomaly, is Mother Bear, who is the watch captain. And in terms of mechanics, you rolled really well, and recall knowledge deserves some stats. These things only act with 2 actions on their turn. They do hit quite hard, though, and with their corrupted nature, you think that if they do land a blow on you, there's a chance that some of the corruption or whatever's going on with them could have an additional negative effect on you. Probably more like short term, and they also have a very low AC and reflex save. That's a very nice roll.
Yeah, should probably say that to Morrigan, who's right in front of her.
Very good. And actually, if that were the turn order, that would have worked out nicely with Morrigan then critting them. Excellent. Gwilyn, seeing that there's kind of reinforcements, looks back in real fear for Celia, seeing her grappling with the creature, but is scared and just says, I'm gonna go get help! And she runs towards the Cracked Lens Inn.
Primrose would add to get Mother Bear.
Okay, there you go. She knows exactly who to go for. The one inside is going to make 2 attempts at opening this door, which would have been very easy if it wasn't for the sword. But because the sword's there, DC is tricky. Attempt number 1 slams against the door. Oh, not enough.
Fuck! Thank fuck for that.
The sword, clutch, and the second one definitely not. That's both its actions.
Whew.
All right, now the one facing you, Celia. It is going to. So, grabbed condition, flat-footed and immobilized. If you attempt, blah blah blah. Okay. It is going to try and strike out at you with its first action.
My AC is 13 without my armor or shield, which I do not think she would be wearing armor during the day because.
Okay.
Even though it's hide, but I do not think hide armor sounds particularly comfortable.
Yep. This could be a nasty hit then. Oh, an 18 is a high roll. 25 to hit you.
It's a crit.
Yep. Is it still...
I'm going to die in the first session.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
The fist comes slamming down, ash bursting around Celia as it just crunches into you and knocks you down to the ground.
It does not, because I have orc ferocity.
Oh! Is that like the half-orc thing from D&D?
Yes, it's a feat I chose, an ancestry feat that I chose. Fierceness in
That's-
battle runs through your blood, and you refuse to fall from your injuries. You avoid being knocked out, remain at 1 hit point, and your wounding condition increases by 1.
That's so fucking cool. So you spit out the blood from this brutal strike, but you're holding on and you're not bowed. Okay. It's going to use its second action to try and break free. Let's see. Du-du-du-du. The good thing about Pathfinder 2 is having all these actions, but the bad thing is having to remind myself of them all. Is it escape? Yeah, escape.
Yes.
You attempt to escape. Your unarmed attack modifier. Oh, well, that's easy to do then. Oh, okay. So what's Celia's athletics skill score?
+5.
+5, so your DC is 15. Does this have... It does have the attack trait, so it does take the multiple attack penalty to this. Probably should have done this the other way around, but that's my own fault.
They're zombies.
How'd it do? No, it failed. Doesn't manage to get out of your grasp. It pushes against you, but through the pain, this huge strike, you manage to push on. And it is your turn.
She's going to use the release action.
Mm-hmm.
As
That's free, I
as
believe.
a free action, yeah. Then she is going to use the... Can I use a combination of actions here to see if it works? I want to shove and trip, but I don't know if that's possible to do.
Let's have a little look.
My idea was to shove and then like try and trip them at the same time. Or I
You
suppose,
push the creature away from you.
or if not, I could trip then shove. I don't know if that's possible.
Trip then shove would work fine. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I'll trip first then. which
Okay.
Don't know what I have to do.
Let's find out.
It says attack.
You try to attempt an athletics check against the target's reflex DC, which is 10.
Okay.
No!
Fuck.
First action fails. I don't believe a failure does anything. Critical failure is bad. But yeah, failure doesn't do anything. Would you like to try again?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's-
DC 10.
I want this thing down. 15.
Now, this does have the attack trait, so you would have -5 to this from the multiple attack penalty.
Oh, yes.
But 15 is exactly what you would have needed, as it falls prone.
So yeah, no longer grappling, full prone, and I will retreat back 25 feet to here.
Very nice. Really smart. Now it's got to use an action to stand up. Skrick, your turn.
Underfloor.
It is on the floor.
There's no penalties against like prone with ranged in Pathfinder. No, I didn't think so.
If they're prone, they're flat-footed, and they therefore have -2 to their AC.
God, that makes so much more sense.
Yep.
So he moves up, looks down at it. He'll pull out his dagger.
Yep.
He's gonna be like
little stabber.
down onto it.
What does he say? Sorry, I spoke over you. Sorry.
Does pulling out a weapon cost an action?
Yup.
It does. So move, pull out dagger, and stab.
Was that crit?
That is a crit. Roll critical damage. Oh, and that's exactly what you needed. Skrick, how do you finish off this Ashbound? Where does the dagger go?
Just puts it through its throat on the floor
Nice.
and just looks at it.
It
Checking.
writhes.
Is it wearing clothes?
No, just ash.
Me. Useless. As he kicks it.
It writhes around, and the red dims to a black of spent coals, as it is now dead.
Does it crumble into ash as it dies? Like,
It's not instant, but you can see the body is starting to fall apart even more than it was before, yeah?
God.
Amazing. Nicely done. Primrose.
Does because we're not level 1 yet, does Dandy have the thing that you get? The
Dandy
high
does
fire
have the thing, yes. I did consider that.
Okay.
So if you wanted to roll for it, feel free.
Yes, I'm gonna roll for it. Hold on.
You sounded like
Yeah.
what's his face? What's the guy from the one show I played in Bad Apples?
Oh no,
Warming.
Warming.
Warming. Yeah.
Yes, very good.
So it's 3d4. Yeah.
3d4. Ah, just the 5.
She's gonna run over with an action to Celia.
Yep.
What does it cost?
So you would use an action to give Dandy 2 actions, and Dandy
Yeah.
would use one of those to do it.
Okay, but I've got 2 actions, so she takes him from her head, puts her on Celia's head. Dandy, you can do it. Is it just 1 action to do the thing for him, or 2?
It's just one for him.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
he
gives
could
you
he
all
could
full
hop
five.
back onto your head afterwards if you liked.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Primrose puts a beautiful dandy hat on your head, and Celia, you just feel this warmth, like glorious midday sunshine, go over your skin, and you feel some of your bruises and wounds disappear.
Oh, nice. How much?
Only
5 HP.
5.
Thank you very much. She smiles at Dandy and Primrose,
And then Dandy hops back over.
and then looks back to Scrix. So I imagine this point has stabbed it in the neck. And
Hey. Right. Gotta fucking get through this door. At some point, right?
I hope not.
Athletics. 1. Fuck. Multiple attack penalty, so -5 to this. Another failure. Morrigan.
Yes, that is me.
No current dangers, but you do see the door near Scrick just rocking on its hinges as it's being slammed from the inside by these creatures.
In that case, I am going to do naught more than cast Protect Companion.
I read this. I really like it. So you give Revna +1 AC,
Mm-hmm.
and you get that reaction until your next turn. So you can save Revna from damage if needed. Very cool. And staying where you are?
She'd see what everyone else is doing there.
It's a flurry of movement. Scrick moved up and stabbed. Celia's kind of moved away, and Primrose moved up to Celia, and then used Dandy to heal, or asked Dandy, or what have you, to heal Celia.
She'll probably go up to them then and take Revna with her as the 2 other actions.
Very cool.
And that's me.
Very nice. Right. This thing's got a chance now to be the hero Ashbound. 20!
Ah, shit.
Yes! The doors burst open as the door finally rattles out of the 2 handles and the creatures lurch out towards you. It will use its second action to move up to Scrick.
Can you see if turning vision off and on my token will fix it, Tom.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
It's really annoying.
Vision off, save. Vision on, save.
Oh, it's still doing it.
Super weird. We'll see what happens when we go to a new battle map in the future.
Yeah.
At the top of the round, Gwillem, because you gave us such clear instructions, has collected Mother Bear. The bear comes hurtling out. By her side is her faithful companion,
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeti.
Oh, he's big.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Big bear. Let's roll initiative. It's fine. It's the same rules for animal companions. Amazing. Celia, top of the round. You see that your improvised clutch action has lived to its fruition. It's gone as far as it could. And now Skrick is being accosted. What do you do?
I'm going to.
Oh, sorry, Celia.
No.
As Mother Bear comes around the corner, she would be shouting out and just being like, "Get away from there! Everybody inside the walls!"
She will, because Skrick is still and he ran to basically risk his life to save her. So she is going to try and distract the zombie. So she will create a diversion action, draw the creature's attention elsewhere. So she's just gonna put her hands up in the air and just sort of start waving in its direction, just shout and make a lot of noise.
You do this, you expend the action, but I'm afraid it has no effect.
Oh, it's mindless, isn't it?
It is.
That's fine.
2 actions left.
I think it's too risky for me to get in there because I'd have to move it in and out. So, and I think Skrix is up next. So.
Yep.
She will move back just because she knows she's hurt. She doesn't want to be completely stupid. But she is sort of she's gonna do that there and then. Is there anything else she can do? I don't think so. I don't think she wants to move any further back. I guess a recall knowledge check.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll. See if we can get anything else. Oh my days! Nice rollings.
Is there any limitation on recall knowledge? Like once you fail, can you not do it again or something?
I believe it works by diminishing returns. So the more you do, the less you get, and the DC gets harder each time.
Okay.
The DC on these guys isn't that high because the Ashbound are a known factor for you. I think it says it. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. No, it doesn't. I have read it somewhere though. I'll read up on it for next time. But that would definitely beat the DC even if I increase the DC by 5. Let's see. The larger one, with the more embers and crackling to its skin, you have heard of some of the Ashbound. This is kind of an extension of what Primrose knew already, that sometimes when they strike things, they can pass on their corruption. You know that this one up here, the nastier looking one, if it does manage to bite its victim, there is a high chance of that victim contracting this kind of ashen disease, which will cause the victim's skin to start flaking off like the ashen themselves, and that there's without serious medicinal aid, a very good chance of that person dying within a few hours. So yeah, this one, don't let it bite you. But you do know that for it to bite, it needs to have hold of its victim.
Oh, interesting. I was reading additional knowledge, Tom.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes a character might want to follow up on a check on a recall knowledge, rolling another check to discover more information. After its success, further uses of recall knowledge can yield more information, but you should adjust the DC to be higher each attempt. Once a character has attempted an incredibly hard check or failed a check, further attempts are completely fruitless, and the character is called everything they know about a subject. So if you fail a recall knowledge check, you just don't know anything.
That's really good to know, and makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I thought it was that way because in the live whatever they call them, the podcast I was listening to, they ruled it that way, and I was like, oh, is that correct or not?
Very cool. Is that all of Celia's actions?
Yes, sorry.
That's fine. No. Scrick. In a slightly scary position.
Yeah, he's just gonna boo. He's gonna freak out a bit. Run. He's gonna try and hide in the logs.
Oh, amazing. So is that 2 actions to move?
Yeah.
And now that you're out of sight, you can absolutely make a hide
That's stealth.
action. I believe so. You huddle behind cover or greater cover, which you're definitely in right now. I have to roll your stealth check. Yay, secret check.
I love secret checks.
You gain... Oh, you gain... Okay. Alright, well this is pretty likely. But I will do secret check. What is your stealth stat, please?
5.
5. Okay. Let me have a quick look at that. God, I need to start closing my tabs as I go along.
Remember, Alt double click can open character.
Thank you. Okay. Cool. You feel pretty well hidden. I like it. Primrose.
Yeah, she's running away. 30 feet over here. But before she does that, actually, do the whatever it's called, Tanglefoot.
Ooh.
A
A spell.
A spell. Well, I can't trip, but yeah.
Yep. Fine. So yeah, you did this before you moved away. Attempt a spell attack. I mean, that is a normal success. Minus 10 feet. So, oh my god. No! So it's slowed down by 10 feet.
Well, yeah. If it
Nice.
fails, yes, I don't know.
Okay. Cool. What does it look like as Primrose casts it? Is it from her hand or Dandy?
I think she just sort of like steps her foot on the ground and it's kind of like in a line, little vines come up and then grab hold.
That's awesome. Clasp around the creature's legs.
Yeah.
Oh, was it against this closer one? Or was it against the further one?
Next to thingy.
Oh yeah, it would have to be
I
that
can
closer
only
one.
reach the, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Right, this one then. 25. And up to Morrigan. Whose turn it is now. This thing is real scary, Morrigan. You probably want to run away.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's up to you. But with all the things people have learned from recall knowledge, it's very nasty.
So is that 2 actions then to move me and to move Revna, or does she automatically follow me?
So action for you to move. Action
Okay.
to give Revna 2 actions. So Revna's got a floating action right now, and so do you. You and Revna both have 1 action left.
Wait, I'm so confused. So if I just move her to follow me, that's still an action.
Yeah. On
That's what she'd do anyway.
the rules for the familiars and animal companions, you spend 1 of your actions. Think of it in terms of like you're commanding her. Yeah, you would say it's she'd follow you anyway, but that's how it works.
So it takes up an extra action every time.
Anytime you want her to do stuff, yeah, or them to do stuff.
But that's bullshit because she'd follow me anyway.
That's how the rules work.
That's so stupid.
If you want to keep her as a tattoo on your body, did you choose your familiar abilities?
No, because I don't know how to do that, Tom. You know I don't know how to do this.
Well, I've got a link I can send you.
Yes, please.
Alright, what are you doing on this turn?
Moving.
And then with your last action and Revna's last action? Moving again?
There's not really much else I can do. Stupid wolf's taking up all my blooming actions.
I mean, you can just leave her to the side.
No, because then she'll die.
Do you want to move
My
them?
eyes went all weird then. Sure.
Here's the list. I'll send it to you. I'll put it on the Discord. Did you choose yours, Hannah?
I did. They're not very useful in this scenario.
Yeah. Revna would get 3, but because she's they're a wolf, one of them has to be the scent ability. So essentially, you still get 2 to choose from, or 2 to choose.
Where are they?
On your... Look at the list and pick 2, and it's on the Lights of Lumen text.
Oh, I'm looking at Serrated Empire. Oh, blimey, there's a lot.
There are a lot. And you can choose any 2, unless they have a special requirement, which it will spell out in the text of it, from master abilities and familiar abilities.
Well, maybe giving her 40 feet might be good, Anya, because then at least if you do command her, she can move a lot faster. And being a wolf, that seems pretty good, because...
So I know some of the animal familiars you have to pick a specific one. So like if you've got a bird, you have to pick flying.
Yeah.
I don't know if a wolf has like smell.
Yep. So a witch automatically gets a 3rd familiar ability. So Revna has scent as one of theirs, but Anya still has 2 to choose.
It's very cool.
Yeah. I told you, witch is awesome, but it's a complex class. But you'll get used to it.
I feel like my eyes are crossing.
I think Natalie's suggestion of what is it called?
The fast movement
Speed.
seems really good, because
Yeah.
Fast movement.
Yeah,
you're almost
And then
doubling
whatever
your
the-
move speed.
tattoo thing is.
You want the tattoo one?
I'm gonna go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Where's the tattoo one? I don't see that one.
It's right at the bottom
At the
under
bottom.
master abilities.
Oh, master abilities.
Your familiar can transform into a tattoo you carry on your flesh. When transformed into a tattoo, the familiar looks like a colourful and stylized version of itself and can't act except to turn back into a familiar. It isn't affected by area effects and must be targeted separately to affect it, which requires knowledge that it's a creature. This means you and your allies can heal or assist the familiar while most enemies stay unaware of its true nature. So there's some other stuff there. But they need a minute to switch. So in combat, you won't be able to be like, pop out, pop back in. But it means when you're worried about them, you can just be like, get on my body.
Yeah, that's what she'd do now, to be fair.
Also, the thought of her having the wolf tattoo is just so cool.
It would take up like her whole back as well, I think.
Oh,
Oh, why do I imagine it would like the head and like wolf chest would take up her whole back, and then like the legs would go down her legs?
like all the way. Oh my god, so
Yeah.
cool. I love it. All right, I'll fill that in on Revna's character sheet in a sec. Amazing, thank you. Gwilyn comes running back with Mother Bear because she wants to know that Celia's okay. But it's just gonna simply stay behind Mother Bear. Right. This thing has to use an action to stand up. Oh wait, no, that was a different thing. This thing is slowed though, which fucking sucks because now it only has 15 feet of movement. Ugh. One action. Ugh. Two actions. That's its whole turn.
Yeah, it gets slowed.
Very nice. All right, Mother Bear pulls out from the sheath on her back, large curved sword, and that's an interact action. She'll move. She can't quite get in range, but she will move to block people. 25 feet there. And for her last action, she'll give Yeti 2 actions. Yeti will move. Yeti's just gonna get fucking stuck. Let's go, Yeti. Celia, your turn.
Celia is going to move here as one action.
Mm-hmm.
Move to here as 2 actions.
Ooh,
And move to here as the 3rd action.
interesting.
She wants to grab the sword.
Oh, yeah. Skrick.
Hiding at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, you can just stay there if you like.
Yeah, he'll stay there.
I live here now.
Primrose.
Just moving back. She might try and do the tangle foot again there.
Yep, sounds good.
No range of that one now? No. Have to be on the one at the front again.
Okay.
Button.
"22 is a critical success.
Yeah.
It gains the immobilized condition. Fucking nicely done.
Yeah. And move back. That's all.
And takes the thing for 1 round. Yeah, so it can't move, it can only stay there.
That's a really
Very
good
cool.
cantrip.
It's a very cool cantrip, controlling the battlefield. Plague Zombie. It's going to attack Yeti. Well, not a Plague Zombie. I'm so annoyed. I gave them cool names, but they seem to have disappeared. Down somewhere, I'm sure. Will attack Yeti. See if it can grab Yeti first.
13.
No, fails to hit Yeti. As it tries to strike down into the fur, but Yeti leans into it and barges with her big, muscly shoulder. So we'll just have to make a second fist strike. 23 does hit for 12 bludgeoning damage. 12. Very cool. Yeti staggers a little, but otherwise unharmed. But it would need a third action to grab. Morrigan. Is it
Yes.
time to throw things with your brain?
I think it might be. Yeah. Fuck it, why not? Hang on, it's just loading. Wait, can I do Nudge Fate as my third action?
Yeah.
Cool.
Who would you do Nudge Fate on?
Bad guys.
Nudge Fate's like a buff to your allies.
Oh, I see. I'd do it on Celia.
Okay.
12 for the telekinetic projector.
12 hits. Just
Ooh. 6 damage.
6 damage. Nice. Read slightly into the future. Nudge Fate is 30 feet only, I'm afraid. You could do it on Mother Bear, or you could do it on yourself. Okay, smart. On Gwilyn. Keep her safe. We'll do... little wing. Very cool. And you are... I'm going to use the concentrating symbol, which means you need to spend an action to sustain it each turn, if you remember doing that with Armitage before. Very cool. Gwilyn. Worried about Celia, but she's not an idiot. She's only going to move up to behind Morrigan. Just calls out to you, Celia, and just says, "Be careful!" Zombie shame. Ashburn. It can't move, so it has to attack Yeti. What do we got? 18 does hit Yeti for further 7 damage, but Yeti's still looking strong. And it will use its second action to grab. So. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so enemies can have grab with their strike, which basically means if they hit, they still have to spend another action, but they don't have to roll for it. They automatically grapple the opponent. So it's grabbing onto Yeti's fur. Very cool. Right, finally, Mother Bear. Zoop. And people nearby can hear her. She's not hiding it or whispering it. She is saying the words of the Peacebringers, putting these beings to rest as she goes about her deadly work. She critically hits. Dealing, wow, exactly the amount of damage she needs to deal to finish this one off. And as she strikes it, she makes sure the curved blade bisects it from shoulder to hip, and the thing falls apart into ash and scatters across the ground. And then she'll use her final action to move over here. Celia.
Celia. 25 to here. Move up to here 10. And interact to pick up the sword.
Wonderful. Skrick. Still hiding?
Is there still sounds of battle going on?
He would hear commotion. Yep.
Yeah, he'll stay hidden.
Primrose.
Primrose. Chilling over here.
Very nice. This one is going to turn to fight Mother Bear. This attack. Oh my days.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not good. That is a critical hit. She's not wearing particularly great armor because she was at the pub. Hup.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Maximum damage. She's still up, but yeah, as its fist slams down, its fingers dig in to her shoulder, and it will use its second action to grab automatically. So next turn it can try and bite her. Morrigan.
Yes. I mean, use my action to keep up my nudge fate.
Very good.
Uh,
Watching the strands of fate around Gwilyn.
oh wait, no, it's 60 feet, isn't it? Shit.
Telekinetic is, I think.
Gonna do
Yeah.
it again.
Very
do it
cool.
again.
Oh no, it is range 30 feet.
Oh yeah.
Would you have rather moved and shot it? Or do you want to keep the nudge fate up? It's up to you.
Move and shot it.
Okay.
So she'd go like over here. I'm sorry, Gwilyn.
I think it's probably the wise move.
It's gonna
Telekinetic
die.
projectile. Oh,
Oh, duh. That's not
you
good.
do have a hero point if you want to use it.
Yes.
Very
Oh wait,
good.
what about that thing? The thing that we were talking about the other day. With
You
the
can do
dice.
that. Yeah. How many dice would you like to roll?
4.
Oh, big risk taker.
4d6, right?
Yep, and there have to be no doubles.
Damn it.
2 3s. But I like the risk taking. But yeah, if you want to spend your hero point, please do. And I will say, Celia, from your improvisation and everything, I would give you another hero point.
Oh, thank you.
21 definitely hits. Doesn't
7
crit, but does
damage.
hit. 7 damage, nice. Just check this thing doesn't have any resistances. No.
I think you'll find it's resistant C's, Tom.
It's what?
Resistant C's. I'm making a joke, don't worry.
A plurals joke. The look on your face. Fantastic. Gwilyn is going to move up behind Morrigan. And it's going to interact, pick up a stone from the ground. And try and lob it at it. Huh! Do I give her a +1? Yeah. Huh. 3 damage. Nice. The Shambler is dead. Mother Bear! Mother Bear! Right. This thing is flat-footed to Mother Bear because it's flanked with Yeti.
Does the grappled make any difference to that?
It doesn't. Just means she's immobilized.
That's good.
And if she wanted to do anything with the manipulate trait, she has to do a flat check first. But she's already got her sword out. She's going to get swinging. That is a crit. So this, +3 doubled. Oh, 26. And because it's slashing damage, this thing has weakness to slashing damage. Oh my god, I didn't realize its weakness to slashing damage was that high. Watch that health bar!
Oh my god.
Second attack. With multiple attack penalty. Oh. No, that still hits because of the flanking. So this thing's fucking donezo.
Damn it.
Yeah, you didn't get your to come in. But this is what Mother Bear specializes in. As again, she makes sure to draw her blade through as much of the body of the creature as she can with that final blow as it falls to the ground, dead. And with that, well done, guys. That was a scary combat.
Celia would have rush over and be like, "I'm here, master." Oh, you got it.
Mother Bear would be like, "You've done very well, Celia," and she'd point to that one and say, "I didn't kill that one. Which one of you brave souls did?"
He ran off.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to see that all of you are alive. These things are horrible. And she would move to Yeti and start combing through his fur to make sure there's no bite wounds or anything. And she'd sort of call out to the rest of you and just say, "Nobody was bitten or cut."
I mean, Celia
No.
would say she took a hefty blow. I don't know if that was a cut or that counts.
Mother Bear would shift from Yeti to you and just, without any shame at all, just start like looking through your clothes and what have you. Very practically. But quickly ascertains and sort of pats you on the shoulder. "No, you are okay." Moves back to Yeti.
Celia is going to rush to Gwillem.
Yeah, Gwillem, sweet, like she's shaking still, but as she sort of throws her arms around your neck and just comes in for a big hug, you can feel her shaking start to subside.
Yeah, she holds her really tight to reassure her, and she just says, "It's okay, Sweetleaf. It's all right. We're fine. You're fine."
Yeah, as the adrenaline starts to come down, she just is just talking into your shoulder and your neck. It's just like, "It was going to be such a good time for us, and then they were just in there." And like between the mutterings and such, you hear she seems to say that there was a body in there as well.
She would, she's just sort of holding her tight still. But she would, with that, like, turn around and just call out to Mother Bear and just say, "Master, there's a body in there."
She would stop combing through Yeti's fur immediately, and with a little clicking sound at the corner of her mouth, Yeti's ears perk up, and they both go into a hunter's stance and start moving. She would go to the left side, Yeti to the right.
Primrose is taking a distant lean over look at this thing, sort of pointing at it to Dandy as he looks over as well. Oh, well, didn't really expect to see one of those today.
You'd get the feelings from Dandy of actually quite like, not smug, but pleased and quite proud of what you guys have done at the moment.
Celia would
I
turn.
agree. You did good.
Celia would turn to Primrose and just say, "Thank you for your help." And then turn to Morrigan.
It's alright, I only wish I could have done more.
"Well, you did plenty." And then turns to Morrigan and says the same.
Primrose like sticks a hand in her bag and just pulls out a load of soil and starts like patting you with it on your wounds. Like, this might make you feel better. Sometimes it helps.
She kind of just looks down. She's still in shock, so she's not really questioning it. She's just kind of like, "Yeah, it does kind of help."
And Anya said that Morrigan would have given you a solemn nod.
Yeah, she'd have just been like, "Sure, you're welcome."
Yeah, she's just gripping Gwilyn's hand and
Yeah,
waiting to
Gwyn's-
see what Mother Bear turns up. She would just say, "I wish I could thank that is it Grumman or Grumman, the last name?"
Grumman.
You say, "I wish I could thank that Grumman folk. I can't remember his name.
Can I do perception to see where he went? To see if she noticed where he went.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
This would be a seek action. And I believe it's done against his stealth DC.
Was it perception? 14? I don't know.
It is perception. Technically, I was meant to do it as a secret roll, but I didn't tell you that in time, so that's my fault. Scrix, stealth. You wouldn't see him.
Yeah.
He's
not really
fucking
sure where he
vanished.
went. To be honest, kind of in and out like the wind.
With the lull in sounds, would Scrick emerge, or is he tucked up tight for the night?
No, he try and sneak away without anyone seeing him.
It's fucking Batman. It's night pain. Amazing. You can absolutely do that. That's even an action. God, what's it called? Is it sneak? It is sneak. You can attempt to move to another place while staying undetected. Move half your speed. Ba-ba-ba-ba. At the end of your movement, the GM rolls your stealth check in secret, compares the results to percent. Yeah. So how far? I actually want to do this. Where would Scrick go to try and sneak away? Bear in mind, you need to keep like some kind of cover or something to stop you being seen by people. If you finish your movement in the open, there's no chance.
He'd probably try and make his way through these big blocks, roll under the table, roll under that table, and then when he gets to there,
Just fucking leg it.
Just leg it, yeah.
Okay, first set of, we'll call it 15 feet.
What am I doing?
Just move your token 15 feet on the path you think Scrick would take.
Okay.
I do secret stealth checks against the perception DCs.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, and then another 15 feet. He's doing well so far. He's a sneaky boy.
Going round the logs.
Yeah, yeah. Still no sign. No sign of Scrick. Another 15 feet.
He'll get onto those and then dart under the table.
Amazing. Oh! He's rolling really fucking well. Yep. Another 15 feet. God, I didn't think you'd be able to do this, but this is possible. Oh my god. I've rolled... They're secret checks, but I've rolled an 18, a 19, a 20, and an 18 again.
Yeah.
Another 15 feet. Let's go, Ninja Boy.
And then, yep, under that table there.
I'll add your cover to it. Another good roll. This is insane. And then once more.
Good enough.
Another natural 20. What the actual fuck?
He gets to the edge, and
Yep.
then you try and slip around the corner and run.
Okay. So the DC will be harder on this one, but
Yeah.
the slipping around the corner makes sense because you end your movement in cover. So go ahead.
Boop.
Ah, fuck. You were doing so well. I rolled a natural 3. So,
But I imagine he just appears, and then you just see him legging it.
exactly. You would just see this flash of movement with a diminutive form disappearing off towards the river off to the west. Yeah, that doesn't beat anybody's perception DC. So anybody looking vaguely in that direction would see this.
I think Celia probably.
He might have gone that way.
Yeah, I think Celia wouldn't necessarily see him, but just see everyone else look, and then just kind of look in that direction and see like a shadow.
I don't think Primrose would have seen with her eyes, but her ears would have heard it.
Oh, the twitch of the rabbit ears. I love it.
Yeah.
Mother Bear. Mother Bear would come back, clutching something in her hand, and kind of hold it out to the rest of you. And you see it's a burnt-looking wooden symbol on a cord, as if worn as a necklace. You'd all be aware of this. I don't need checks to happen here. This is a symbol of Amlane, the Wandering Hearth, a symbol often worn by traveling people. people who are nomadic or as part of their job they move around a lot. She is a transcended mortal, a god of traveling folk, and the motto kind of being that the home is where the hearth is, the campfire, and the symbol of Amlane is 2 hands holding a campfire within them. She holds that out to you and just says, I think someone must have taken shelter in the storage building, but perhaps they were followed here by the Ashbound. There is a trail of ash, but it is the right amount for the number we have here. I will keep watch out here with Yeti for the rest of the night, but I consider this put to an end now. Consider yourselves lucky, but you've done well. I'll be letting the rest of the diamond know about this. For now, you should head home, be with your families.
Celia just nods.
Thank you, Mother Bear. We'll see you tomorrow.
You will tomorrow. From what was said at the Cracked Lens, the Lightbearers are heading off on their journey again, early this year, this cycle. So tomorrow they head off. There will be all the usual celebrations and festivities to see them on their way.
Let's see. Well, I'll definitely be there in the morning.
Good.
I'm just glad it wasn't someone from the village or town, whatever it is.
Yes, me too. She kind of looks, the slightly piercing look to all of you and says, you did well to gather in numbers. Were you out here together to begin with?
No, but it looked like Morrigan. Was off in a hurry. I just thought I could help. Well, it's in Morrigan.
Yeah, Ravner here and I both see visions of things that are yet to come or things that are in the process of happening. So we decided not to waste too much time.
She nods, a nod of respect and gratitude. We are very glad to have you here. I know Rolo speaks highly of you, Morrigan. And you, little Celia?
She just turns to Gwynn and just kisses her on the head and just says, well, I had to be here once I heard Sweetleaf screaming.
She looks at Quillen. Quillen kind of looks down ashamedly for a moment, just says, I didn't think there'd be any trouble. I just wanted some time. Kind of looks, side eyes Celia, smiles to herself, but then looks awkwardly as Mother Bear's stare just continues on her.
Would it look bad on Gwilyn if Celia had said that about, like, sort of her being here?
You think perhaps in her parents' eyes?
Would it...
To Mother Bear, definitely not.
Okay.
Mother Bear doesn't give a poop.
Yeah, I thought so, because of the fact that she trains her secretly.
Yeah.
So I think she would have said that. I was just thinking if she's...
Yeah, of course.
Got like a more close relationship with Gwilyn's family or something, then she might not have said it.
No, you'd know from training with Mother Bear, and the general feeling in the village is that the oak leaves are welcome enough, I guess is the phrase I'd use. The father's not very well looked upon. He's a bit of a city businessman that doesn't fit into the village life well. Gwilyn's mother does a lot. She pays for lots of people to come from Crucible and Seaspray to teach the children of the village and tutor people.
Yeah.
But equally, they live in the one wealthy house of the village. Everyone else is in these like rustic 1 to 2, maybe 3-room buildings. So there's a bit of animosity, or not open animosity, but small town leeriness. But nothing towards the children.
Would would the relationship between Celia and Mother Bear be quite more respectful, or kind of more sort of casual and a bit jokey?
Mother Bear has a kind of a casual and quite a dry sense of humor. She doesn't like airs and formality normally. It's only because this is like a dangerous situation where you can see her history as a soldier really come into play.
Yeah, I think in that case, then Celia kind of would be a bit more like, now the shock has worn off, you'd be like, sort of like, see you back at the inn, master, and then kind of like does like a wry smile when saying master, as if it's kind of like maybe like a running joke between them, that calling her that.
She would smile and just say, "Have one on me, you've earned it." Then she'd head off.
Yeah, Celia would just sort of grab Gwilym's hand, and she'd start pulling her back to the town away from here, and then she'd nod to Primrose and Morrigan and sort of thank them again for their help.
That's right. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.
I'll bring some extra salve.
Soil salve.
Yeah. She kind of like pats down the sore on her arm a bit.
Yeah.
Now she's kind of come out of the shock and kind of like sort of scrapes it off, because it's like, oh, this is really like itchy.
Okay.
It'll work when she's a proper druid, anyway.
But now it's just like, rub it in. Okay. Unless there's anything anyone else would want to do in the night, I will take us to the next morning.
Oh, absolutely. Celia wants to find a private place with Gwylyn, and when the whole atmosphere's kind of calmed down a bit, she would just sort of like elbow her a little bit and just say, she'd just be like, "You were so scared."
She'd push you back like a proper shove on the shoulder and just be like, "I was not scared. If I was scared for you."
She would just sort of blush slightly and smile, and just she would just say, "Big talk for someone who was screaming for her life. If I wasn't there, then never know what would have happened."
Yeah, you can see her eye line kind of wanders off for a moment. She's like, "Yeah, okay, it was kind of freaky just seeing them there, but it worked, didn't it? I know you've always got my back."
"And you've always got mine." She sort of grabs her hand and grips it tightly,
Yeah.
and then just sort of pulls her in for a kiss.
Yeah.
And as I don't know, the night sort of, the stars twinkle.
Yeah. I like to imagine their spot might even be like near the bridge over the river.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great shout.
The stars reflecting off the River Acre.
I really like that, yeah. Sitting down by the river. They're not doing drugs under the bridges, is the metaphor.
And at some point you'd see old Rolo the Weave Walker muttering to herself and walking alongside the river. She likes to do.
Oh,
Your
easy,
Primrose,
Rolo.
that her siblings might have a few leaves.
Yeah. Does she say anything to her siblings? About
Yeah,
what's
she's
just
telling the whole
happened?
story.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
They would
sat them all
like
around the fire.
Yeah, there'd be one moment where you like talk to one sibling, and then 5, 7, whatever it is, sets of ears prick up, and they all kind of rush in. mother and father as well, grandmother, rush in, and everyone's listening with bated breath to what happened. Does Primrose embellish at all, or does she tell it how it is?
Embellish loads. Make it a big story.
But does she make it sound like she did more, or is she just
Oh no.
being a
Just
good
the
storyteller?
whole thing being bigger than it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, all her siblings would just be absolutely over the moon, especially her younger siblings. Parents would look a bit worried, but I kind of understand. And in particular, I think they'd be quite pleased by the sound of Dandy healing Celia during the story. Amazing. Anything from Morrigan or Scrick? Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, what about Scrick's stealth adventures?
Yeah, where does Scrick go?
Just get home.
Yeah, does he say anything to anyone?
Nope.
I love Scrick. Just curls up into a corner, clutching his little dagger.
Yeah. They came back and we were like, "Where have you been?" Be like, "Ow."
Yeah, your dad would roll his eyes, just be like, "Yep, out again, of course.
Yeah.
No need to help here. It's not like we're trying to run a business or anything."
You say so.
He started bristles a little bit, but your mother kind of nudges him off to the side. And Morrigan? Yeah. I would think she'd probably live with Rolo. Yeah. And you'd see Rolo was out, but that's very normal for Rolo at night. Fantastic. All right, we will move to the next morning. It is now the 2nd of Crescent Sin. As dawn breaks on a new day, if anyone needs to do daily preparations, anyone who needs to roll dice as part of their extra bits and pieces, please feel free to do so.
Do I need to do that? Do I get all my health back? Or I don't know.
So, with resting in Pathfinder, you do not automatically get all your health back. You regain hit points equal to your Constitution modifier multiplied by your level, which we would treat as 1, not 0.
Yeah.
So it would be whatever your Constitution modifier is what you get back.
Damn, that's not much.
Yeah.
My
But
con mod is...
what would happen is your mother would come back and be like, "What the hell's happened?" and done treat wounds and everything. So you can put yourself back to full health.
Okay, con mod's 3, so I get +3.
But yeah, if you got stuck in a situation where you didn't have access to healing or treat wounds or what have you, it's very, very difficult. And yeah, I think this is probably the first place I want to go in the morning. Tilia, who, when you got in, Celia, would have been snoring happily in her bed. You think perhaps after a couple of drinks at the Cracked Lens. Would Celia have woken her up?
Oh no, she would have snuck past her as best she could.
Yeah, so in the morning, she would be making breakfast, calling you out of your room. Would Celia come down?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like a bit out of it and probably stayed up far too late with Gwylyn.
Yeah, and Tilia would see the bruises on you and immediately just be like, "What's happened?"
What do you mean?
You're wearing about 3 or 4 different bruises that you didn't have yesterday. Care to explain?
Not really.
Why? Yeah, why would a mother want to know what's happening, causing her daughter to have bruises? Anyone I need to worry about?
Is there anyone who's just generally considered a bit weird in the town? Apart from Scrix.
You said it before I did. I think there's probably a few characters, some grumpy farmers. It's a small town. Some people might have some eccentric activities or beliefs.
Yeah, she'd probably just sort of say, anyone I need to worry about, and then just say, well, apart from, Rolo the Weaveworker or whoever's weird, just, you should definitely check on her.
Yeah, well, she kind of moves over, brings your breakfast, and lifts your chin for a moment, kind of inspecting.
She would kind of like try and, as you like, when you try and slap a fly away, sort of thing. Just like, get off.
Yeah, all right.
I'm fine.
As long as you are fine, and I'm sure the other person was a lot worse for wear.
Exactly.
All right.
You worry too much.
No such thing. You coming to see the light bearers go?
Yeah.
Amarea will be up on Old Thunder. You've always liked her. She'd give you a real shit-eating smile.
She just goes, "Shut up, Mum."
All right. Well, I'm going to head down there now. I want to get us a good spot.
Yeah.
So I'll see you down there.
Yeah, I'll be down there in 10.
All right. See you in a minute, Cece. She'd kiss you on top of your head.
She just kind of slaps her away and just goes, "Don't call me that."
She laughs. She heads out the door. Okay. In the morning, Skrick. Does Skrick get up early and out and about?
Yeah, unless he's got anything he's got to do for his fam.
His family would be absolutely in business mode, but with what Skrick said yesterday, his father would be kind of purposefully ignoring him. I think his mother would come and say, "You gonna come help, Skrick? We've got to get all the horses ready for the light bearers."
He just looks at the horse. He stompily follows her.
Yeah, she'd lead him to the easiest horse, probably Ripel's horse, like a little pony for a gnomish form.
Yeah.
And just say, "Right, you know what to do. Strap this bit on here, get the bridle set."
Yeah. As he starts brushing it.
And you'd hear a knock at the door, and one of your siblings would scamper over to the door, open it up, and just call out, "Dad! It's Mother Bear!" Your father would look up, wonder what she wants, head over to the door, and you'd hear a conversation that would swiftly become apparent to you, Skrick, because you're well in hearing distance, that she's saying that one of the Grumman family was involved in a violent incident last night, and they've done well for themselves, and she wants to know who it was.
Why do I imagine Skrick's dad, if he was being portrayed in a film, being portrayed by, I can't remember the actor's name now, but the actor who plays Ron Weasley's dad in Harry Potter?
I was thinking the same. Is it Mark something?
Oh, I cannot remember.
Mark Williams. There you go. He's great. Yeah, I see that too. And immediately, Skrick, your father would turn, not look at his other children at all, and just land his eyes straight on you. "What have you done, Skrick?"
Just looks over. Did he hear what Mother Bear said?
Yes, yeah, you overheard the whole conversation so far.
Just looks at his dad. Doesn't say anything.
He lets out a big sigh. "I never know what to do with him, Bear. He's just him. Does his own thing." Mother Bear kind of holds up a hand and is like, "It's not a bad thing at all. If it was you, Skrick, you struck a fatal blow against an Ashbound. No small thing. Must be pretty nifty with a dagger."
Kind of shrugs at her. "Yeah, I'm alright."
Well, just wanted to say, well done. As the watch captain, be keeping you in mind should the village need able hands to defend it.
What?
If the village is attacked, and we need people who can handle a dagger, I'll be knocking on this door again.
Bees. And he gestures to the horse.
She looks at your father, and he's just rolls his eyes. He's like, Yeah, when it suits him, he's helping out with the business. Don't you worry, he's a good citizen. He'll come along if called upon. Won't you, Scrick?
Yeah.
She smiles, kind of lingers her eyes on you for a second, Scrick appraising you, and then says good day and heads off. Okay.
Gonna be, he would be, if Mother Bear was leaving, he'd
Yeah.
be like, is there more of them?
She'd stop in her stride, turn around. Yes, sadly, there's always more. I think there aren't more now. The tracks match the 3, one of which you killed. But each year, there's always going to be more. Poor souls.
I just nods. It's like, I'll be around, I guess.
She'd smile at that, give you a bit of a wink, and head off. Yeti lolloping at her side. Very good. So, this day, the light bearers are leaving off on their journey. Would everybody come down to see them off?
Yeah, she would definitely trail behind her mum. Yeah, she'd try and show up, and then if Gwilym was there, she'd like go up to her, or if
You would see that your mother has been interrogating Gwilym about everything that happened last night.
oh god,
Yeah, your mother doesn't miss a trick.
she gives me very Linda vibes.
Oh yeah, you'd get in mid conversation, and she'd just be like, but you would see a look of pride on your mother's face, and you'd see that Gwilyn is telling the story of like everything that you did, blocking the door, saving her life, all of these things. And as you sort of come in and you're just like, Mum, stop, she would turn to you, and you'd see a little watery tear in her eye, and she'd give you a big like slap on the shoulder that turns into a big like one-armed muscly hug, and pulls you in for that.
Yeah, she tries to resist, but she knows you can't. Her mother's got a special feat where she like incapacitates you with a single arm hug.
100%. And she'd pull you in, and she'd be like, and she'd kind of lean in because she knows you don't want to be embarrassed, and she'd just say, "Proud of you, kid."
Yeah, thanks, Mum.
But then as she kind of leans back out, she raises her voice again. It's like, but don't go putting yourself in any danger. You two idiots. Only you'd manage to get yourselves in danger in a village like this.
Danger's my middle name. I mean, if I had one.
Give yourself a middle name if you want. That's Tilia saying that.
She would just say, only if you change yours to overbearing.
You'd laugh at that, and you'd see Gwilyn kind of sniggering, smothering a laugh behind her. But she'd just smile and say, maybe for your birthday.
She does laugh at that and grins.
Excellent. Oh, I love these characters already. Oh god, Old Thunder's so big. Giant horse.
Thunder!
Old Thunder is a bit of a mascot in the village. An old but very reliable war horse.
I know you had the token in the perfect place because it looked like Rip Pell was pulling the horse reins. It was like perfect.
No.
No, you lost it.
So the light bearers themselves aren't, they don't particularly foster their own celebrity. They are grateful for the gratitude and the celebration shown by the village. People come out and cheer, throw flowers, give tokens of good luck and favor, holding it out to the various members, led by Sigurd Stormeye, who walks at the front. They start to make their way through the village. Sigurd, and part of this is that they kind of shake hands with and say a few words to people as they go by. Sigurd stops where you are, Morrigan, and kind of holds out a leather-gloved hand, like as if going for a handshake. She's unmuting.
Yeah, Morrigan would shake it.
Yeah, he'd kind of clasp it tightly, and you see you see the clouds and the storm within his left eye as he stares at you and just says, "I heard what you did yesterday. It's good to know that while we're away, we have people who can defend the village."
The girl was in trouble. We weren't just going to leave her to the whims of whatever those things were.
Those things are nasty, and a lot of people wouldn't have had a choice. And even some who do have a choice would have choose to kept their powers behind payment or selfish deeds. You have my respect.
Thank you, sir. I'm not sure it is a choice though. For me anyway, and for Revna here, it's kind of just like an innate ability to see all of these things that are happening or gonna happen, and if I don't help people with it, what's the point in being blessed with such a gift?
He'd smile at that. I know exactly what you mean. But you might find you learn more about the world. Not everyone thinks the way you do, Morrigan. There are plenty of people who see their gift as a reason to close their mind away from others and only do what's good for them.
I think that's a pretty sad state of affairs then, sir.
I do too. But with you here, it's a weight off my mind.
She'd give him a big, open, wide smile at that.
Yeah. He'd smile as well, and you'd see as he winks, there's like a little spark of lightning that jumps out of his eye and like strikes against his cheekbone. And he walks off. As they're moving through,
Tom, I didn't see the hot guy's token.
Sir Ten, he's here.
Is he?
There you go. Fucking massive.
I mean, he's like a snake man, so.
Yeah, he's hot as
But
shit.
he does also look like he'd be a member of Måneskin, so I am kind of
It's
loving that.
literally what I was thinking as well.
If Måneskin were snakes.
Minus snake skin.
Skin.
Man, snake skin is so great.
Well, now that you both think he's hot, I'm going to have to give him like a "Hello and welcome to Certain Goods" voice.
Please don't.
No, you've got to give him like a sexy voice, Tom.
I'll do Pitcher's voice.
Do an
Great.
Italian accent.
He needs
Oh,
like
God.
he needs like
My
Liam.
Italian accent would be like Mario.
He needs like Liam O'Brien to voice act him.
Oh, damn you, Liam O'Brien.
Who's Liam O'Brien?
He's one of the Critical Role guys. He's got a fantastic voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Need to
You'll have
have
to show
him,
me
like-
later.
I'm fucking Italian.
I'm Sterling here!
Oh my god.
Get out of my bistro!
You're walking into certain goods.
Come in here, you browse for too long. Get out!
You
One
come
day,
in here on the
maybe
day of my
15.
daughter's wedding.
Maybe one day we'll all sit down and have a laugh about it, but that day ain't today, bub.
Gosh, you're way too good at accents.
Primrose comes running in like the white rabbit. She's
Yeah.
not woken up early enough because she was telling stories for too long.
Oh my
Oh.
god,
Oh,
this is
yeah,
really-
yeah.
I love this so much. It's the purest thing in the world.
I'm not. If Primrose like, I don't even want to say the words. I can't. If anything happens to Primrose, we riot. That includes the DM.
Yeah.
She comes in clutching her little twine basket full of goodies. She's got. I also brought the salve for you, Celia. She comes running up to you, Celia.
She
It's really good stuff.
She like
I
waves
think
to
Tom's
her,
about to cry.
and she does like a kind of like "you all right" kind of wave, and then just sort of leave. Then just like, oh, you didn't have to. Really, you didn't have to. It's fine.
Do because well, it's just for free. You can have it. Here you go. She sort of like pulls it out of her twine basket and like holds it up to you.
Yeah, she can't refuse Primrose. She's like the most adorable thing in the history of like this entire world. Celia's just like, she just nods and it's just like, thanks. I do appreciate it.
It's mostly for chapped skin and sore muscles, but it'll work for wounds a little bit. It's got dandelion in it, and it's got dandelion oil, and it's got what was it that she put in it? I forgot now.
Lavender?
Probably.
Actually, can I do a check to see what might else be in it, Tom?
Yeah, crafting check.
Oh. $18.
That's pretty good. I think you'd get a smell and a sense from like the thickness of the salve that there's definitely some sap in here from perhaps one of the local trees that's been tapped and used in there. And then the smell, there's definitely been some crushed flowers. Perhaps
Probably
even
got
some
beeswax in there, probably.
Yeah, beeswax.
She would just say, kind of smells like beeswax.
Yeah, dandelion oil mixed with beeswax, and probably some lavender, lots of little twigs and branches just for extra, grit. But it should work really well.
Well, cheers, Primrose. If you're all right.
That's all right.
You
They haven't left yet. I'm glad I didn't miss it.
you looking forward to it?
Or just get nervous for them every time. It's dangerous out there.
They can handle themselves.
They can, just as we saw Mother Bear do yesterday.
Exactly.
She sort of like moves off to watch them a little bit, unless you're still talking.
You just say you gotta have a little faith.
Oh, I got lots of faith. I'm sure they'll do really well, just like they do every year. Is it yearly, Tom? Or cyclically?
Cyclically, yes, it is. Yeah, it needs to happen. So these guys are actually away from the village more than they are home. The journey takes the majority of the year, though not all of it. Or cycle. God damn it. I did this to myself. So yeah, this is an annual event. They are going earlier than usual, though, by about a month.
Mm. Do you know why they're going earlier this year, Celia? This cycle?
Does Celia know, Tom?
You might have discussed it with her mum. It's common knowledge that sometimes they do shift the dates around. This is a bigger jump than it normally is. Supposedly, Amarea has asked the group to go earlier this year so that they can be back quicker so that she can spend more time with her son. Her son's begun to get a bit of a reputation around the village as a bit of a ne'er-do-well. Gambling, drinking. Some say he's been caught stealing as well, and it's been kind of hushed up because he is the son of arguably the most important person in the village. So supposedly she wants to spend more time with him. And a mother.
Her son doesn't live here, though, does he?
He does. He was
does.
in the Cracked Lens Inn yesterday. I'll get his token out.
So is he going with them?
Arnlin. There he is. He's not going with them. No,
Oh, okay, interesting.
She wants to go so she can be back and have
Oh,
more
back
of like.
quick. I see. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes some sense.
Cool.
Celia would just say, I think it's something to do with No, this is what she would say. She would say, I think thruple is, and then she kind of like stop herself, and then just like, and then would like go really embarrassed because that's Amarea's nickname between Cilia and
Would be laughing her
Gwyn.
fucking ass off
Yeah.
when she hears you make that Freudian slip.
And then she would like grit her teeth slightly and kind of punch, like not hard, but like in the arm to Gwilla and just say, I think Amaria something to do with Arnlin. I think she wants to be back earlier.
Oh, well, family is important, so I can definitely see why. Hold on this year. Just before they go, I really need to just dish these out. It's very important. And Primrose just goes up to each one of the people that are leaving and gives them a jar of salve as well.
She's so cute, Anna. Does she? Does she like hop about like boing boing boing?
She does, especially for taller people. She's hopping up to try and pass and things.
I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Primrose permanently has 3,000 temporary HP.
You got to equip this new armor called plot armor.
Yep. AC 5 million. Sigurd Stormeye would take it and give you a big smile and another little sparking wink. Jagged Filtria would take it in a quite sort of dismissive way. There's like a slight nod. And she leans down because I've just remembered they are mounted right now. They all are. I just only have the token for Old Thunder because Old Thunder's the coolest.
For the ones that they're all mounted, she'll just hop up and try and give it to them as well, like a little jump.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't treat anyone like even if they're dismissive, she would still give them the same smile and happy sort of gesture.
So cool. Rip Hell would be very happy and interested and actually like take a big sniff and be like, oh, that smells amazing, thank you. I can smell, and then she just start like listing off ingredients, some which are in there and some which definitely aren't.
Oh, she'd definitely have a little conversation about what's in there and specifically like say how fresh the ingredients were, especially for these guys.
Yeah. And Amarea would gladly take it and sort of give her signature, very elven grace, slight smile, and tip her hat to you. And then Yormag, when you hop up next to his horse, he actually, with a gentle hand, like kind of nudges you onto the horse, like just behind him, and just says quite loudly for the crowd to hear, I think you've earned a ride of honor from everything that happened last night and your kind gifts to everyone. Those who protect the innocent and heal the hurt deserve to be applauded. Let's hear it, everybody! And he'd like put his arms up, and people in the crowd would start clapping and cheering for you, Primrose.
Thank you. Oh, gosh, I didn't expect that. She kind of like puts her paws up to her face, you know how they do with the two paws on the cheek, sort of in blushing motion.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do know that, Hannah. Stop killing me. And yeah, he'd continue and just say, it's well earned. And we can all look to the example of Primrose as we look to great Serion, and he'd look up to the statue of Serion Shorestrike, which stands here in the center of Lumen Village. One of the young king's greatest teachings was to protect the innocent and give to those that are in need. Thank you, Primrose, for being an example to us all.
I should be the one thanking all of you. You go out to protect us each cycle. This is the least I could do.
Yeah, and you'd see your mother in the crowd, Primrose, who's practically fainting with pride and excitement from seeing this, this big half-orc, or he's full orc actually, orcish champion extolling the virtues of her daughter, her darling daughter, and you ride on the horse with them towards the exit, but to avoid awkwardness, he kind of helps you down as you get towards it. And as they get towards the final exit, they kind of stop for a moment, and Rolo, the Weave Walker, steps in front of the procession. And Morrigan, your eyes are trained on this because you know this is a duty that you will need to perform in the future when old Rolo passes on. She says a blessing of the fates and of Lake Oculus and the Weave Water nearby. May all the threads of fate lead you back to us, our brave light bearers. And she has tattoos, kind of similar to you, Morrigan, across her body, symbols of occult magic and fate, and she touches a few of them, and places a hand on Old Thunder for good luck. And then Elder Counselor Harley 10 does a Loxodon trumpet and says, "Be well, light bearers. We will miss you, as we know you will miss us." And everybody cheers. The procession makes its way out of the village.
Be safe, everyone.
And they wave behind. And Skrick, you hear your father kind of muttering, looking at the horses. He's just like, "Hope they don't lose them this time." Does Skrick respond at all? He says
What
it
did he
towards
say?
Skrick. He's looking at the horses as they go past, because these are all horses owned by your family. Just says, "I hope they don't lose them this time."
Yeah, it'd be bad.
He'd give a little nod at that and just be like, "Yeah, it would be bad. Yeah. You know, Skrick, it's not an easy life being a stable man." Don't know the proper name.
Barrier.
A farrier. And I know you've got your gizmos and gadgets and all the bits and pieces that you like to keep, but I just want you to know, and he kind of stumbles over his words for a moment, and you can see the figure of your mother behind him kind of nudge him in the back. "Yeah, all right. I just want you to know that whatever you do, even if it isn't farriering, being a farrier, farronry, thank you, that your mother and I will still always have a place for you here, and well, we love you." He kind of mumbles the last words and reaches out to try and like scruffle the hair on your head.
Greek looks up at him. He's like, "Oh, cheese."
And your mother kind of leans out from behind the larger form of your father and gives you a big smile and kind of almost violently pulls you in by your arm for a quick kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, he'd like limply do it, like go along with it.
And as the procession goes past, Sigurd says a particular word to your father and just, "Thank you, Grumman family. Without these fine horses you keep, this would be a much difficult journey." And your father just goes, "Oh, no trouble at all. Happy to help. Happy to be a part of the village life." He gives them nods as they go past. But Skrick, you can see in his eyes, he's looking desperately at the horses as they start to disappear off down the trail towards Sea Spray as they head off.
Just looks at his dad and he's like, "Don't worry, the horses will come back. I can feel it."
Your father actually turns from looking at the horses and looks at you. Just like, "Well, with your feelings, Skricker, I'm sure we can't go wrong." Right. we now turn with the departure of the light bearers off on their journey to a bit of downtime. So downtime in Pathfinder has, unsurprisingly, rules for it, but they're quite simple. I was actually quite surprised by the simplicity of them for downtime. Essentially, you've got, and I believe I've put this in a handout. Way too much stuff here already. Where are my useful references? Have I gone mad? There it is. Useful references. Downtime. Thank you, Natalie. Oh my god, I actually put it in as a PDF. Don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, typically, unless you have something big in mind, you're likely to do something along the lines of earning income. So this has different phases to it. We're going to have a period of downtime now for essentially a couple of weeks. So you can have a think about whether your character would be earning income, or whether they just want to be kind of chilling out, doing their own thing, whether they want to try and craft something. Crafting is a downtime activity as well. And there's also some other stuff, but they might be a little bit above where we are right now. But if you had any other ideas of your own, I'm very happy to listen to them. It's basically just down to how you think your characters would conduct themselves during downtime. But before we get to that, and as a last thing to finish off our session for tonight, there is something else going on. Tilia, Celia's mother, and she'd say this to Celia certainly first. She asks you to look in on your grandmother, Celia. You know, Bellswift Brunt, your grandmother, is definitely in her twilight years, especially for an orc lifespan. She's very old already. Still strong in spirit, but beginning to fade a little bit, perhaps. And Tilia would say that the beloved cat, Mr. Muffin Paws, thank you, Anya, for that name, is missing and has been missing for a few days now. She asks you if maybe you could look into it and check in with her and see if you can find anything out about Mr. Muffin Paws.
Yeah, she would 100% agree.
Fantastic.
I also forgot to say, now you mentioned her grandmother, Belle Swift, that Celia would also be wearing a shell necklace around her neck that my grandmother made for her.
Great grandmother. Sorry.
Great grandmother.
That,
sorry. Yes, we did. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Shell necklace. Fantastic. Well, considering the time, I think maybe we will call it there for today. People can have a think before next session about downtime activities, and we'll begin next session with visiting Bellswift Brunt.
Can I just ask, in terms of downtime?
Yes.
With crafting, do you need access to the raw materials?
Yes, but whatever you're thinking of crafting, it's very likely you'd have access to it, considering your mother owns the blacksmith.
Yeah, I was maybe thinking of crafting something to give Primrose as like a gift back.
Oh, amazing.
But I don't know exactly what she would. I'm trying to think what Celia would think she would like. But she wants to give her a weapon or something of that kind of nature, but she's not. Maybe not a weapon, maybe like some kind of like better container for her stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but we can think about that in between sessions and stuff.
Very sweet. Although I'm not a blacksmith making something for a druid is a bit like, ugh.
Yeah.
I will say they're farmers though. You could make
oh yeah, very true.
Extra swish like sickle or something.
Oh, that's a great idea. Definitely do
farming
that.
tools. Yeah, Celia would 100% know that the Meadows family are big farmers in the village. Fantastic. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed session 1 of Lights of
Yeah.
Lumen.
That was lovely, Tom.
It's
I really
good.
enjoyed it. Very well played, everybody.
Really like everyone's characters.
Yeah, me too. Oh my god.
Still getting into them, but yeah.
I'm so fucking Kieran. Somehow says like the least, but still, I just immediately want to throw Skrick in front of so many NPCs I already have planned for stuff further down the line and see how he reacts to them.
He's like Babette, but if Babette was really like quiet and yeah.
It honestly, it just makes me. I mean, this is Warhammer, so I apologize. Maybe only Kieran will get this, but there's a Warhammer fantasy race called the Skaven, who are like rat people, who are. I mean, they're evil, but they're like really like fidgety, and they make crazy contraptions, and they're very irreverent, kind of like that. The whole time I was just like, oh my god, Kieran's playing a Skaven in my campaign. This is great. Which will make it very easy to make a model of Skrick in the future.
Yeah.
There you go. So session 2 will be 2 weeks from now. Next Sunday will be Serrated Empire. We might finally get to see Willie Slug Nelly's character sheet. God damn it. But yeah, that was lovely, and I'm very interested to see what you guys do with next session stuff. There's lots to come.
Are we doing XP in this
gonna be-
campaign?
We absolutely are. Oh god, yeah, I didn't even think of that. There's specific stuff I've planned to get you guys to level 1, but there's no reason not to reward you for what you just did. And actually, this is going to be quite a lot of XP for you guys. Let me just calculate that real quick, and then we can go away. Counter. Because as I'm sure you realised, those creatures were nasty for your level.
I'm very lucky I had the orcish thingy.
Yeah, that I was like, ooh, with the crit. Those things are nasty, but it's obviously balanced with going to get help and such. Oh wait, I've got it in 20.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stayed if
Yeah,
I knew
yeah,
I didn't have that feature.
absolutely.
It's like I know I can take one hit.
Alright, so the party level is 0. And the zombie. Oh no, but you're meant to treat it as minus 1, so that's the same. So 2 of those is 80. Oh, Jesus is 1. So that's. So everybody gets 160 XP.
Ooh.
Start you on your way to 1,000.
I assume we're adding that to the first level sheets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank
I
you.
absolutely loved that.
It's very fun.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a lovely evening. Sleep well.
I shall.
We got
Bye,
Vale on
everyone.
Thursday.
Yep, indeedy.
Nice.
I want to run yours and Anya's Brunk and Zappa
Brunk.
sometime within the next 12 days because I'm off till the 4th. So
Cool, we can figure that out.
yeah,
Anya and I'll have a chat about it.
yeah, just let me know.
Of course. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely loved that. Looking forward to session 2.
You too.
Oh.
See you later.
Bye-bye.